Founders Live is the global venue for modern entrepreneurs, especially during these very challenging times. The direct impact of COVID-19 is currently being felt around the world, and it could get worse before it gets better. We are here to help you through these challenging times by connecting you to the people, information, and resources meant to move you forward as you start your next project.
We see an opportunity to bring the resources and capital and connections to the people that need it and the people that can use it, no matter where they live in the world. My honest opinion is, no matter what the economic climate is in the world, Founders Live can be important. In the good times, when it's booming, we're here to help grow companies and have them access capital that's flowing around the world and really be a fun, great event and global platform that powers entrepreneurship. In the tough times, we actually think we can be the answer, given the fact that if people are actually getting laid off and unemployment starts rising, well, the choice to start their own business is front and center, and Founders Live is right there to help them grow. I believe the secret sauce of Founders Live lies in the combination of these three words: inspiration, education, and entertainment. Inspiration is rooted in the energy and the passion that every single attendee has. The education is the information that we're bringing to people that they otherwise couldn't find. Founders Live Online helps solve entrepreneurs' daily challenges. If you have a question that you're just wondering, like, I don't know what to do here, you simply need to just type it into Founders Live and someone else will answer it right there for you. And the entertainment is the fun. We believe business should be fun, we believe it should be casual, and we believe it should be inspirational. Founders Live is the perfect place for you to connect with other entrepreneurs and to be inspired.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Founders Live Primetime Round 1 North America. I am so excited to be joining you tonight, and this is just an amazing experience that we're all just so excited to get going here. Founders Live Primetime is our elevated series of competitions and experiences that the winners from all of our city level events advance to, which I'll talk about a lot more later. But we're just so excited for everyone to be here. And as we get going, we will be celebrating creative performance, we'll be celebrating creative entrepreneurship, and we'll be celebrating networking and connection. But what I want to do is touch on, at least bring in a few things real quick. Number one, share this link. Look, this is a YouTube link. Share it out to your social networks. Tell them you're watching Founders Live. Bring on your friends. We want more and more viewers and attendees. We also have a great performing musical opener, Milk Toast and Company. We're going to bring them in a very short second. But what I just want to illustrate, which I'll touch on later when I give a little bit more detail on Founders Live, is look, entrepreneurship and Founders Live is not just for you creating code and building technology. Entrepreneurship is creative in general, and it's artistic. And we are now starting to bring in and highlight entrepreneurs and artists, musicians that are building their craft and bring it to the world as well. So tonight we have a special guest, Milk Toast and Company. We want to bring them in at this point in time for them to join us. And I want to say hi to James. James, are you there?
Oh, we're here. Hi. Milk
All right,
Company.
James.
Thank you, Founders Live.
Yes. Welcome. We are excited to have you bless us with your talent and your music. So what we're going to do is we're going to have you play about 3 songs, maybe 4 depending, but we would like you to play for about 20 minutes, and then we'll bring you back and we'll spend a little time chatting, getting a little bit of your story, and then where everyone can find your music. So with that, James and Milk Toast and Company, please go ahead and take it away for us.
I woke up late and decided to call, and it day, late in bed, and lit my first cigarette. Like the smoke swarming inside my room, I let the home rings consume. Wondering why can't do more like and lit my third cigarette. Planned the day around the ghost inside my head. Like the smoke swarming inside my room, I let the hungers consume. Wondering why I can't the world be more like me. Wherever I may be, wondering why can't the world be more like me. 'Cause I woke up late. Wondering why can't the world be more like me? Why can't the world be more like me? Got out of bed and decided to finish the day. Myself dressed and started my hair fast. Oh, just like a ghost that refuses to haunt anymore. I never let it be, but Milk Toast and Company, thank you very much for having us. By the way, we're glad to be a part of this entire situation. So thank you very, very much. Again, Milk Toast and Company. Don't just throw me to the fire pit just like that, 'cause I voted for your phone. Don't just throw me in the fire pit just like that, 'cause I voted for your phone. And it grows and grows. Don't double down on the days you make that don't matter anyway. Wear your mask in the sweat. Don't just throw me to the fire pit just like that, if I voted for your phone. Don't just throw me in the fire pit just like that, if I voted for your phone. And it grows and grows. What's your point? What's your point? March from limbo into hell, all alone and all outside when you're safe. double down on the days you make that don't matter anyway. You wear your mask and the slips are slowly absorbing your face. What's the point? What's the point? Not try it out.
All right, good. She says. She says. You ready for this?
Everything now as old as I drown, and I'm trying to get away from the day, so I fall back to sleep. And I swear this I dream about never waking up again. And she says that you'll always be my friend.
Hold on. I apologize. I want to play this better.
Everything now as old as I drown, and I'm trying to get away from the day, so I fall back to sleep. And I swear this I dream about never waking up again. And she said that you'll always be my friend. And I'll never fall asleep again. Oh, oh, oh. Everything now as old as I drown, and I'm trying to get away from the day, so I fall back to sleep. And I swear this I dream about never waking up again. And she says that you'll always be my friend. And I'll never fall asleep again. Oh, oh, oh. Everything now as old as I drown, and I'm trying to get away from the day, so I fall back to sleep. And I swear it's I dream about never waking up again. And she says that you'll always be my friend. And I'll never fall asleep again. Oh,
As that crawls up next.
So thank you again. Sorry that I had to do that a couple of times. That's my fault. At any rate, this is, again, Milk Toast and Company. Thank you very much for having us. This song is called As I Crawl.
want you to feel the weight of me. I want you to feel the weight of me. I want you to feel the weight as I fall, as I fall. I want you to feel the weight of me. I want you to feel the weight of me. I want you to feel the weight as I fall, as I fall. I want you to be my knees. I want you to be my knees. I want you to be my knees as I crawl, as I crawl. Oh, 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 I want you to feel the weight of me. I want you to feel the weight of me. I want you to feel the weight as I fall, as I fall. I want you to feel the weight of me. I want you to feel the weight of me. I want you to feel the weight as I fall for you. I want you to be my knees. I want you to be my knees. I want you to be my knees as I crawl to you. Oh, oh, oh,
Hummingbird is up next.
Hummingbirds.
Hummingbirds.
I wanna tell you a story. Wanna tell you I care. I want you to know me, even though you are not there. I can't believe that I said that. I can't believe that I did that. I can't believe that I'm a monster like that. Wanna tell you a story. Wanna tell you I care. I want you to like me, even though you are not there. I can't believe that I said that. I can't believe that I said that. I can't believe I'm a monster like that. Love it. My dear, I'm in love. I'm in love. I wanna tell you a story. And tell you I care. I want you to love me, even though you are not there. I can't believe that I said that. is that I can't believe I'm a monster. I can't believe right I'm good. I'm loved.
Appeal. Yes. By the time too. I want the A peel. You got A peel, not that B.
It burns and it peels and it heals and it hurts. It's life, and you learn and you get what you deserve. And you're not gonna do anything about it. Not gonna do a thing. Just gonna go complain about it. Just gonna go complain. Cause it's God or it's guilt or the life you built or the place you're in that's losing its appeal. And you're not gonna do a thing about it. Not gonna do a thing. Just gonna go complain about it. Just gonna go complain. What's the reason now? What's the excuse? I can't answer that, so I'm not gonna do a thing about it. I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna go complain about it. Just gonna go complain. God, it's guilt to the life you built, or the place you're in that's losing its appeal. And you're not gonna do a thing about it. Not gonna do a thing. Just gonna go complain about it.
We're done. Thank you very much. Milk Toast and Company.
Thank you so much. Thank you, James, Milk Toast and Company. Congratulations. Thank you for playing. I want to ask you a few questions while we're here.
Sure.
Where are you playing from? Where do you call home?
Well, I'm originally from Boston. I got these guys from Denver.
Very good. Very good. And how has this entire year been for how has it been for your band, and what sort of things are outside of these sort of playing experiences what have you been doing to really grow through this pandemic, even though it's been challenging to be able to play in front of people?
Yeah, it's been really tough. I think this pandemic's really challenging everybody right now. Luckily, we have a nice little rehearsal space over here in Denver that we can all go to and congregate and make music. So that's been really fun. We've been doing a lot of live streaming lately. I think we actually have a show this Friday.
This Friday.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Glad I asked. Yeah, we have a show this Friday coming up. It's our first show live since pandemic happened. We were on tour when it first started, so it's been quite a ride this year for sure.
Thank you. Tell us about the name. Unique name. Couple innuendos there, but like tell us a little bit more about the name and how it actually was created.
Milk. Well, I don't know if oh, hey. So I'm really bad at film.
They put a camera in front of them.
Jesus Christ. I mean that with all due respect. Milk Toast is actually a funny name. It was a 20s cartoon and hilarious, and no one knew what Milk Toast. So there was actually a character called Caspar Milk Toast, who is this kind of really, I don't know how to say, meek, vanilla,
Passive.
passive.
All the words that Milk Toast means, probably.
So you should actually look up the word Milk Toast. So there was actually a really good friend of mine who was a doctor and used to call me Milk Toast all the time. I had no idea what he meant by that. So I didn't know what the word meant until I was like, that's exactly how it describe all of the United States.
Well, hey, thank you for that story. It's a great naming story. James, I want to thank you so much. And, we have some voting experience that happens a little later tonight. And we would love for you to stick around and, play us one more song as we go through the voting. So is that something that you guys would enjoy doing?
Absolutely. We wanted to
I think we could play probably just.
Yeah, absolutely. So when I'm instead of being who I am, you do it. I can't do it.
Yeah, that would be great. I'd love to do that.
Great. Well, we will come back. It'll be about 45 minutes ish, about 45 minutes. We'll bring you back on as we're doing our voting for the contest, and we'll see you then.
Sounds good, man. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you, Founders Live. This was a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Everybody.
all pictures.
All right. Well, thank you again, James, and the entire Milk Toast band. Really, really excited. So again, like I said, Founders Live is really about celebrating creative entrepreneurship, whether that's music, art, technology, business. So I'm going to bring in my slides and very excited for you all tonight. We're getting started with the show. We have an incredible lineup of entrepreneurs and founders from not just one city, from North America, and this is Founders Live Prime Time. So what I want to go through is a message and a description of Founders Live. Some of you might be here for the first time. Some of you, this might be something that you've attended for years and years. You remember back in the good old days when it was in person, before all this happened. But I want to welcome you to the ultimate entrepreneurial experience and virtual pitch competition. We're really about inspiration, education, and entertainment. That's what Founders Live's about. We have a global community and we have a global social network, as well as we have events that spring up all around the world. These were in-person events. Now they are virtual events. We've created really the homepage of the modern entrepreneur. So online, you're going to find an online community. You're going to find great videos, articles, talks, education, connection. That's all there online for you, as well as now these events, these monthly events or quarterly events that are, of course, now live streamed. Guests. We have 5 companies. They each have 99 seconds to pitch. You, the audience, has 4 minutes of Q&A, and then we will determine the winner. So excited about this. Our aim is to be the industry-defining entrepreneurship brand. We are on our way to do that. So with Founders Live, what started in Seattle is quickly expanding all around the world. And, yes, we've had a little bit of a hiccup, obviously, because of what's happened in 2020, but we flipped it around, which I'll talk about. But we've reached about 60 cities around the world. That's having an event or planning on having something in a few months. And you can see right there, I mean, it's pretty much across the globe there, and we're really excited to expand. We want to say today that we're excited for Indonesia. Indonesia is on the list of cities that will launch here in the next couple months, and that's going to be our 63rd city that we've reached. It's amazing. It's so exciting for this. If you want to start Founders Live in your city or your country, please reach out. That right there, if you just type in expand.founderslive.com, you'll be taken to a little form. You can fill that out. That'll reach us. We will reach back out to you, and we will definitely talk about where and when we could roll out and expand to your area of the world. Very excited about this. But what I want to touch on is really the next generation of Founders Live. Like you, we had to really look at when the world changed this year, we really had to look at what we wanted to do. And quite frankly, it just accelerated what was actually in the path ahead of us. But this is the new Founders Live. We want to touch on the Founders Live Pro membership, and actually what we released here in the last couple weeks. So we've got the Founders Live membership. We released our subscription membership model early last month, but what you have is membership tiers now, and this is access to the social network, founderslive.com, and then also access to what we have now released, what we're calling Founders Live Pro. And I want to touch on this real quick because this is also part of the future of Founders Live. Founders Live Pro is a new tool. We're calling it an intelligence platform. We're pulling all the data and everything that's coming through Founders Live and pushing it back to you in a way that makes you as an entrepreneur better. So we have listed a growing number of startups. You're looking at about 800 startups in Founders Live. There's profiles you can dive into, learn more about those companies. You'll see on the right there, if they've actually pitched at Founders Live, you can click and see their video pitch. Right now it is of the entire event, but we'll be clipping those up at some point in time, and really excited about that. So this profile will start to really illustrate the value that these companies are creating and the ways that you can get in contact with them if you want to partner, do business with them, work for them, co-founder, whatever. Really excited about that. We also have Founders Live Mentors. So we're starting to build out our mentorship program where people can list themselves as a mentor or advisor. You can go in there and find one if you would like. This is live. This is on the Founders Live inside the membership, by the way. But you can book calendar time with them and discover advisors and mentors. So excited. We also list essentially a calendar of the upcoming events, the things that are coming down the line. Really excited, and so you can find that. You can click, you can, get your tickets for that. You can watch previous Founders Live events, the ones that are in this new format online. So cool that you can go through and just click and check out the companies that pitched maybe 3-6 months ago. And it's so great. We index our podcast on there. You can actually listen to the podcast in there. Just a ton of wisdom and a ton of information there. So we're really excited about that. But what we are doing today, I want to also detail out a little more about Founders Live Primetime. Founders Live Primetime is our new series that is really around performance, around competition, and around networking. And this is a global competition. This is highlighting our winners that are coming out of all of our cities, puts them on a higher pedestal in front of more people outside of their maybe state, city or state. And ideally, we're clearly elevating the potential and the companies that are coming out of these regions of the world, and they culminate in this competition that ends up in final experiences. So we've isolated them into 4 different regions of the world. So we have Founders Live North America. This is the event. There's Founders Live Latin America. That will happen in 2 weeks. And there's actually in this little series, there's gonna be 2 of those. There's Founders Live Europe and Africa. We've put those together because they're really in the same area, time-wise of the world. And now we have in Founders Live Asia and Southeast Asia. What is this all about? This is about elevating promising but undiscovered global talent. It is amazing, and we believe that the future of Founders Live prime time will just benefit not only the cities that grow around the world, but then on a high level, these amazing companies that can come out of Founders Live. Just to detail real quick, this is our series that's happening this fall. You'll notice we have 5 events. This is the first one, North America. We have Latin America coming up soon. We have Europe and Africa in about a month. You'll see another North America event come through and another Latin America. There will be 5 eventual winners out of those events, and we'll end up in the final event. And we're announcing today, there's actually going to be a global summit. I don't necessarily like that word. We're going to find actually a different title for this, but this will be December 2nd. We're going to get as many people we can together and celebrate entrepreneurship, end this year on a high note, and also have the final competition. So look for that. You will receive information soon. Jump on that, RSVP quickly. We've never had a global summit, so not to say that this is the big one, but we want to get people together and have a little more than just a pitch competition. So the last thing I'll detail out before we really get into motion here is really our core values. Our core values are why we are spreading. Not to say that entrepreneurship and founders are not important, but these core values are what we grab onto as a community. So the first one, we want to talk about respectful authenticity. And this is really about inclusion. And actually the words that we're starting to use is entrepreneurial equality. And we believe that everyone, no matter where they live and where they're born, what skin color they have, how do they identify, what orientation they are included. And more importantly, they deserve opportunity to be successful in life and in business. And that's why we're here. So we say, be your authentic self, but you must respect others and theirs. Second one, we call this gather around the campfire. And, as entrepreneurs and founders, we are storytellers, and we are, we really need to find the way to tell a story so people will follow us. So we encourage you to find your campfire and entertain people. Third one, love this one, open the door. So we just ask that you do great things for people without expecting a return. Send the invite, spend a little more time with someone that just needs some help, but doing great things for people, opening opportunity doors. Well, you know what happens? It comes back to you tenfold. It's just the right way to live. We've pushed that through our community, and it's the community that I want to be a part of. So last one, we're kind of playing with the name on this one, but what we're calling it, business equals fun. We believe that business can be productive and fun. It can be casual, and we want to make sure that you enjoy your experience with Founders Live at the same time you are making connections or you're building your business. So we just want to say real quick, thanks to some of our partners. We have a global partnership with Amazon AWS. All presenters for Founders Live events receive $5,000 credit to AWS for just participation. Winners receive $10,000 credit. Then also with Google Cloud for Startups, the credits start at $3,000 for Google Cloud Startups program. We encourage all the presenters and all the participants to take advantage of this and join in and really allow these organizations to help them. So one more thing, and when I'm done with this, I will post on in the chat. But if you want to connect with others after this event, we will share a link in the chat box for you to click and fill out a form, how you want people to actually connect with you. The thing is, we're all here. We're watching this event, we're engaging, yet we're all going to leave. So if there was a way that we can know who was here, as well as if you opt in, others are going to opt in as well, and then you get contact information to connect later, we will make sure that you get that in the chat. So that's exciting. So I want to thank you all again. reminder, share this link out. Any one of your social networks, please just share it out and say, hey, watching Founders Live, excited for this. There you go. So we are going to get started with the event of the night. Again, if this is your first event, we go through 5 companies. They each have 99 seconds to pitch. They then will have 4 minutes of questions from the audience, which I'll touch on in a second, but that is our opportunity to ask them questions and engage in the event. This is not a TV show where you sit back. This is a show online where you engage. We're excited. So then also we will have an opportunity to vote at the end of the night. And hey, everyone, this is for the person from North America to go on to the global event December 2nd. So it's our opportunity to help them move forward and determine that. So this is a big deal. This is a big deal, everyone. We have 5 great early stage startups tonight. I want to list and go through them very quickly. Then we will hear from them on the pitches. But we have Fluke from Seattle, Washington. Fluke is really a platform that is for teachers and students to really engage in feedback, and especially in this digital age, amazing timing, by the way, that they can come on and provide a great tool to enhance feedback and help learning at the earliest stages. We have Board Seat Meet. Board Seat Meet is building towards the gender and racial balanced and high performance boardroom of tomorrow. Really, really excited. That's amazing, amazing vision. We have Sochi. I'm going to go back a second. Board Seat Meet is from San Francisco. Sorry about that. We now have Sochi from Boston, Massachusetts. Sochi is a digital health membership empowering new expecting mothers and to give them better information and support in real time. It's also a really interesting idea. 4th, from Toronto, Canada, we have Quickly. And if you can read that, I don't know, it's pretty small, but it's karate for your mind. Excited for that pitch. And last one, from Dallas, Texas, we have Rent My Wardrobe. And this is peer-to-peer marketplace for fashion retail, and really interesting time for all these companies to not only be here now, but it seems like they're all ready to thrive. So with that, I want to illustrate how we're going to vote. We will vote online. We will vote using, you can scan that QR code with your phone. There's also a link below the video box. So as you're watching this on YouTube, the box right below there, there's a description. You might have to click see more, but there is some important links in the bottom of that, in that description. The voting link is down there. When it's time, not now, when it's time to vote, definitely access that link and we will go through the voting process. We'll take 5 or 10 minutes and we will see who is the winner of the night. This is a very, very important part of Founders Live. You, the audience, participates. So when the pitch is happening, and I want to illustrate something real quick. There is a delay when you stream anything, whether it's TV or online, there is a delay, usually 15 to 30 seconds. So as they're pitching, we encourage you to start asking questions. If something pops into your head because you're thinking about it, just type in there and push, send, and your question for the founder will pop right into that chat box. We grab those and push those onto the screen, and those are the questions that we're going to ask with them. So please, we don't want crickets here. We want questions. So if we're all ready, it's showtime. All right, we are going to bring in our first presenter, and that's going to be Melanie Kong. And she's got her company, Fluke. So Melanie, how are you doing?
Doing pretty well. How about you, Nick?
I'm doing well. Excited for this. So, before we get started, I just want to, this is kind of a fun event, right? So I just want to say, okay, so tell us when you pitched last, what did the world look like?
That was back in February. So I think it was like the very last live event that you all held before going to this strange world of closures. But yeah, it was amazing, great energy in the room. And it was really fun to be able to like interact with the audience and be able to, read the energy in the room, see people's faces. So this is also going to be just a totally new experience for me, and I'm looking forward to it.
Well, good. Yeah, that was when the world was a different time, but excited for you. And so we'll pull your slides up, and I've got the time. So whenever you're ready, basically on your start of words, then your time starts.
So I'm a high school math teacher, and this is my typical weekend. Sure, teens complain about their trigonometry homework, but as their teacher, I have that assignment 150 times to review and provide feedback. But I do it because I love my students, and I know that feedback is the #1 driver of their learning. When I pass back the assignment, here's what typically happens. It's tragic for the 10 hours I spent grading, but more tragic for their learning. Here's the deal. Students don't actually know how to use feedback. And when students don't know how to use feedback in school, they don't know how to use feedback in life. So we created Fluke. Fluke is an app that helps teachers give meaningful feedback faster. Unlike other assessment tools, Fluke uses research-based strategies to teach students how to use feedback to learn. Students submit work through the app. Teachers give feedback 4 times faster. Students act on their feedback through dialogue and revision, and they engage in peer review that's guided to build their feedback skills. Fluke is for the 1.9 million secondary teachers in the US and their students. Because Fluke is low tech, it is also used globally. Teachers pay $10 a month, or schools pay $3 per student per year. Right now, we have over 50,000 users improving feedback loops with Fluke. Not only do teachers reclaim their time, every student develops the feedback skills they need to succeed in school and in life. I'm Melanie, and we're Fluke.
Great job, Melanie. Love it. Great job. So everyone, it's now time for us to ask the questions that you're thinking. So please engage with that. My first question to you, Melanie, is, how has the pandemic affected your business? I mean, how has it been for you?
Absolutely. So I am actually still a current teacher. So we've seen this crazy time from both the lens of an ed tech startup and also through our lens as current classroom teachers. And as things were getting so wild in the classroom and us scrambling to figure out how are we going to handle the tech, how are we going to stay connected to our students, that's when we saw this huge increase in signups for Fluke as well. So since school closures in March, we've seen a growth of ×5 in our teacher users and student user base. And we're now starting to see schools reaching out to try to pay for Fluke, even at a point when we weren't ready to do that.
Yeah, that's amazing. Can you expand beyond secondary schools? How about that at universities? Describe maybe your go-to-market and maybe your target market as you go forward here.
Absolutely. Our initial target audience was always secondary teachers. Part of this is the bias that me and my co-founder Christine held as secondary teachers, but also because secondary teachers have 150 plus students, but still might have the time to engage personally with their students. However, we have been surprised to see that Fluke has already expanded beyond our target market of secondary teachers, and that we have teachers in upper elementary grades 4, 5 through university who are using Fluke. So I think that it's really likely that we can expand beyond secondary school. Right now, we're focused our energies towards scaffolding and guiding the feedback process for elementary through high school, but the same processes that we put into place, the best processes for feedback, apply very much to university level students and honestly to any kind of learner anywhere.
Very good. So we have an interesting question. How do teachers keep students engaged? Students can get feedback, but ultimately it's up to them to take action on it. How do you measure success?
Absolutely. This is a huge problem in current classrooms. And even now, there's actually academic research about how students engage with current learning management systems, which is basically they log in and then they look at their grade and then they sign back out. There's no engagement with that feedback. So Fluke is specifically designed to support engagement with feedback through revision. So we do resubmissions to the app, and every single comment that a teacher leaves opens a conversation. So the student can respond in writing what their questions are and what they think. And students cannot see their grades until they've seen the feedback. So we deliberately try to structure our app in a way that students are forced to engage with that feedback.
Interesting. Let's go with last question. Allison is asking, how can we help you? What would be the most helpful aspect coming out of this event?
Oh, well, thank you, Allison. So right now, we have been growing so quickly through word of mouth. And if you know any educators or who might be interested in trying to streamline their feedback processes, by all means, please share Fluke. But there's a couple other interesting things we're exploring right now. One is the idea of fundraising. So impact-oriented investors always looking for great introductions. And the second thing is that we're trying to support parents, and how do we help parents support their students while they're trying to develop feedback practices at home. So if you're interested in that question of just how do we help parents support feedback literacy too, please reach out.
Very good. And just a little note, everyone, down below, again, all the important links are in the description of the video, and you will find all the website web addresses for all the presenters tonight down there. So if you're interested, just click on the Fluke there and check them out, and hopefully you can help Melanie out.
All right. Thanks so much, Nick. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you so much. Great job. All right. We are rolling here, everyone. So second presenter tonight we have from San Francisco, and we have Rika, who is with Board Seat Meet. Really excited. Rika, how are you doing?
I am great, Nick. How are you?
Good to see you. Rika, so a few quick little questions. So your experience at Founders Live, tell us a little bit about your first experience and when that was, when you pitched.
That was literally a few weeks ago. So right in the heart of COVID, I didn't have the pleasure, the privilege, or the fun of presenting on stage and being in the great space that I'd heard so much about. My co-founder had actually pitched at Founders Live in Austin. He's based there. So this is our third crack at the bat. 3 times the charm is my hope. And I really just want to thank you, Nick, and your team for having such an extraordinary organization. I think the startup community really needs you, and the way that you've expanded what you're offering given coronavirus to embrace the geographies, not just within the US, but all over the world is just so creative and so needed. So just a huge kudos to you and your team.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, here we go. All right, we'll get you set up here. And on your start, I've got your time. So whenever you're ready.
Hi, at Board Seat Meet, we're powering diversity in the boardroom. So speaking of boardrooms, what's wrong with these 2 images? Right, where are the women? And secondly, this isn't what we mean when we say people of color. The problem is really persistent. In 2004, the representation of minority in the boardrooms was 28% and had only gone up 10 percentage points in 15 years. And there's 2 root causes at play: lack of early exposure in career for women or people of color. And the second is a lack of access to social capital. That's the professional relationships that develop on golf courses, cigar rooms. I think you're getting the picture. Social capital is the #1 factor for most boardroom placements today. And as I dug into this problem, I thought there must be a way to solve this with the power of modern technology. And that's how BSM was born, a social impact venture where we're driving high performance by accelerating gender and racial parity on boards. And we're doing this by making it easy and seamless for corporate boards to connect with each other, corporate board members to connect with each other, as well as with executives from minority groups, solving for barriers to access to social capital with a simple and elegant platform. And we're doing this with an app where board members offer their availability and candidates make requests to meet. It's like LinkedIn meets OpenTable, but for boardroom professionals and aspiring candidates. Our platform will serve boards and their members, candidates, and corporations that want to more tangibly commit to cultivating leadership to minority groups like many of you. The addressable market is tremendous, with the revenue from candidate subscriptions and corporate sponsorships more than $13 billion in the US alone. I'm Asian and white, my co-founder is Indian, and our board are models for the United Colors of Benetton. Reach out and let's splash some color and gender balance.
All right, great job, Rika. You did so great. All right, so this is such a prevalent topic and such a good time for this. So thank you for bringing this. I want to just ask the first question as we get the questions flowing in here. What would the target market be, like size of companies, industry? What sort of angle to the market are you taking first?
Right. So it's a good thing you said first, because boardrooms across the spectrum are lacking diversity. There's a lot of focus and attention on public company boards, and that's certainly within our wheelhouse and our focus area. But fundamentally, we're targeting companies that are $500 million in revenue or above, an employee base of 1,000 employees or more at the heart of it. Once we get past that, there's a lot of other areas, I think startup boards and other nonprofit boards, et cetera. But our first focus is really going to be in that sweet spot of private company or public company boards that have meaningful critical mass of employees and $500 million above in revenue.
Very good. So Gary is asking, I'm looking to join a nonprofit board and I'm committed to diversity. Is this a good platform for both the nonprofit to seek and for someone like me to connect with you and your company? Is it, you obviously just described, the target right now, but would nonprofits be something that you've been thinking about as well?
Well, so the truth of the matter is, and this is from having done a lot of research in the product market fit, a number of public company board members are also on nonprofit boards. So even though our go-to-market and who we're addressing is fundamentally at the public company and private company for-profit sector, chances are if you're looking to join a nonprofit board, you can connect with and build and cultivate that social capital with board members who are on our platform, who are there because of the target audience that we're targeting first, but chances are they're on nonprofit boards too, and the same mechanism should still work.
Very good. This is interesting. How will the app in your platform overcome the social capital barriers?
So in the same way that Upwork and Uber and Airbnb and other network orchestration platforms have just made it easier for two sides to find one another, that's what we're doing with Board Seat Meet, which is unique in the sense of the technology approach that we're taking and the social capital being how two people can meaningfully connect, especially in a we're not post-COVID yet, but in the coronavirus era, where this paradigm of how we're able to connect with people through a video digital interface and be able to build that social capital is actually more accessible than it ever has been before. And a lot of the baby boomer generation who make up a lot of the public company board seats have also been forced into accepting this paradigm of how they connect. And that's what we're doing. We're just making it much easier for these board members and candidates like you, or board members like you that are looking to expand your pipeline, to more easily find each other and have that very, very targeted and very sort of catered way of connecting and understanding and learning about each other and accelerating the opportunity there is for diversity to get onto the boards.
Very good. Yeah, we got Jake who's asking, who are you partnering with to establish pathways for qualified candidates? So obviously this is a kind of a double-sided marketplace of candidates as well as companies and boards to partner with. Describe that process a little more.
Right. So a lot of the way we're going to market is through partnerships, both for board member acquisition as well as for candidate acquisition. One of the ways that we believe there's going to be a meaningful and unique approach on the candidate side and qualified candidate side is to collaborate with large corporations predominantly in the beginning that have the deep pockets and the commitment to diversity and inclusion, and especially the leadership development of their women and people of color in their organization, and encouraging them that in their leadership development offerings that they provide to their high potential leaders, directors and above, to say that are you enabling them to build social capital, which is one of the key pillars by which people are going to be able to advance through their careers, not just in boards, but in C-suite and whatnot. So the idea is to go to large enterprises, Chase, Google's, et cetera, and say, why don't you underwrite the membership of your high potential leaders onto our platform so that they can build that social capital to augment all the other diversity and inclusion leadership programs that you're enabling. And that way we can also manage the quality of our candidate base, because when we work with those corporations, they're the ones that are going to be able to suss out who's a high potential in terms of they may be a few years away or a couple of years away from being board ready. And so that's going to be a large bulk of how we go to market, as well as the opportunity that we have to generate revenue.
Well, very good. Thank you so much. And from San Francisco, we want to thank you, Rika. So many questions, so many great questions that were in there at the end. So, you might want to take a look at the YouTube chat. And if you want to @reply anyone, feel free to do that. But thank you so much. Board Seat Meet.
Thank you, Nick. Thanks, everyone.
Oh, wow. These are great. These are great. These are timely. These are well put together pitches. So our next contestant, our next presenter is from Boston. Boston has a great chapter or a great city Founders Live event happening. They're doing awesome. And so I want to bring in Shannon from Sochi. Shannon, how are you?
Doing great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, great job. Yeah, good to see you. And so bring us up to speed in what month did you pitch, and was it in person or was it virtual for Founders Live?
Yeah, so I'm one of those like late February pitches. So it's definitely one of those like those moments and events that feels like the last time I was like out in the world before everything shut down. So yeah, it definitely is like burned in my memory because it was like one of the last gatherings I've been to, and I don't even know how many months it's been.
Oh yeah, I have that same, I think everyone does, where it's like that, like end of February was like the last normal or just whatever type of life, and then everything shifted and changed, and hey, here we are. And like I said earlier, I mean, it's a blessing in disguise. Obviously we have to work through it, and it's not an easy time right now, but here we are. And let's hear about Sochi.
Yeah, love to tell you more.
All right, on your words, we're ready.
Great. So I'm Shannon Field, founder and CEO of Sochi. Think Sochi can thrive. I'm a product manager turned general manager and a 20-year veteran of Silicon Valley. I'm also a mom of 3. Maternal health is a $100 billion market in the US that's been called a public health crisis. Did you know that the US has the highest maternal death rate in the developed world? We're actually number 55 in outcomes and number 1 in spend. And the fastest path to impact is to inform and empower new moms. Sochi is a digital health and wellness membership, including evidence-based content, 2.0 tools, chat and AI, and human support, including online groups, telehealth, and eventually in-person support. Given COVID, we're doubling down on online classes and virtual support. Our outcomes data will set us apart, including fewer unnecessary C-sections, which is worth billions in savings to payers, less postpartum depression, and Sochi can literally save lives. This is a $1 billion revenue opportunity, and we're starting direct consumer because it's a faster go-to-market, but soon we'll add payer coverage. Our V1 birth prep app launched to rave reviews, and in the past 4 months, we've crossed the 1,000 beta user threshold with a near zero CAC, demonstrated top quartile user engagement, secured $350K in funding, discussed a paid pilot with one of the largest health plans in the US, validated our product roadmap, and hired amazing talent. So if you have feedback, connections, or want to learn more, feel free to email me at shannon@sociapp.com.
Oh, great job. Great job. And I'm going to bring in the first question here, because you did mention the customers. You were bringing this to the consumer market first, but I would like you to speak a little bit more on your go-to-market and who would be really the first ones that you're going to look to bring this to in terms of demographics, and maybe even just like the direction that you want to take with it.
Yeah. So, sometimes people ask, why do you start direct consumer if you're going B2B2C eventually? And my answer to that is you can just throw an app in the App Store and start getting user feedback. I'm a product manager, sort of by background, by passion, whatever. And so I just wanted user feedback. And so we don't have to wait for a paid pilot for that. And so we've actually leveraged birth workers to get the word out. So before COVID, everyone went to a childbirth class and asked their instructor, which apps do you recommend? And none of the instructors liked really any of the existing apps. And so we wanted to give them something that they would enthusiastically recommend. And so that was actually where a lot of our traffic came from. And really, like our target audience is, this might sound weird, but people who are planning to prepare for birth. And quite frankly, COVID has probably upped that number. So the majority of people take a childbirth class. And I think during COVID especially, people that might have been even a little bit more complacent about birth prep are like doubling down and making sure they're prepared. But I'll also add that birth prep is just our MVP. Our vision is to be with new moms from trying to conceive all the way through 3 years postpartum. But you got to start somewhere. And so we started with childbirth prep. Also, we started with acquisition hooks. So I don't know who in the audience has had babies or had a partner who has babies, but there's something called a birth plan, which is a tool that a lot of people use to communicate their preferences to their providers, but no one had really productized this. And so point being, we sort of came up with our product roadmap by looking for white space and looking for acquisition hooks.
Very interesting. Do you envision this being integrated into your people's health insurance plans? And are you targeting that sort of direction?
Yeah, so Nicole, great question, and absolutely. And actually, we are in discussions right now with one of the largest health plans in the US about a paid pilot. And we got the pilot, I think, because they are concerned about pregnant people during COVID, and they want to give them options that are virtual, right? That's what got us our first meeting. But the thing that got us our second, third, fourth, and fifth meeting is that we are outcomes driven. And so Sochi is a win-win for moms and for payers because we can reduce unnecessary interventions and complications. That's, again, a win-win. Better outcomes, it's a win-win for moms and for payers. And so we think our existing product can reduce unnecessary C-sections, which is literally worth billions to employers and to health insurance companies. So absolutely, we will be going B2B2C as well.
Very good. Hold My Americano asks, what's your stance on privacy and user data? So this is a big one.
Yeah, my stance. I love how you ask that, as if there's like, a version of it where I can just say, I don't really care. Of course I care. But here's the other thing I'll say about that. So I actually worked in digital health prior to starting Sochi. And so I am conversant in HIPAA compliance and things like that. And so I respect that. We will go there. And quite frankly, to be B2B2C, we don't have to be HIPAA compliant to get our first pilot, but we have to be sort of HIPAA ready and sort of be ready to sort of turn on that level of security. But obviously, security breaches with healthcare data, like that gets out there into the public, that's terrible for trust. And we need our users' trust. So my stance is we take it super seriously and we'll be HIPAA compliant.
Now, this is an interesting one. Any key learnings from your beta experience up to this point, and especially when you launch it consumer? You obviously said you want to do some, get some feedback and learnings. What one or two things that you maybe pulled out of that?
Yeah, so I'll just like transparently give one positive learning and one more headwind, because that's more fun, right? So a positive learning is that our app is actually a really good teacher. And our engagement is amazing. It's actually so good that I went back and checked with some people, and I'm like, is there any way this data is wrong? Is there any way that our retention at 15 days and 30 days and our return rates are wrong? Because it's amazing. And we know from sort of quizzing and testing our users that that teaching and learning is effective. It's very effective at getting people to sort of internalize what they're learning. One headwind is I mentioned that it's something like 57% of people take a childbirth class, which means there's a lot of people who actually don't prepare for birth. And quite frankly, when I had my first baby, I was one of those. And so we were sort of reflecting on this before COVID hit, and we realized, and our hypothesis was that if we want to really expand our reach, we need to add things beyond childbirth. So next up will be breastfeeding and newborn care. And we've done a lot of market research and concept testing, and that is like a super winning trio. Like every new mom wants at least 2, if not all 3 of those things. So we feel really good about that suite of offerings.
Very good. And I just want to like bring one more in real quick. Real quick answer. What would be the revenue model? Who's paying? Who's the customer here?
Yeah, so we're a membership model. So think of an annual membership where consumers buy access to Sochi for a year. But then when we go B2B2C, same product, different payer, right? It's like, hey, my employer or my health plan pays, but same product, different payer. It's a membership model.
Oh, very good. Well, Shannon Field from Boston, Sochi, this is a great product, great pitch, good job, and we will see you later.
Thanks, Nick.
Yeah. Okay. This is just moving right along here, and this is just great. This is awesome. All right, so we have our 4th presenter from Toronto, Canada, and let's bring him on. And we got Gander there. Where is he? There he is. What's going on?
How you guys doing? Hey, Nick.
How you doing?
Awesome. Good. Thanks for having us.
So yeah, so good to see you.
Likewise.
Hey, tell us about your very first Founders Live experience, real quick.
Yeah, for sure. It was about a year ago, actually. I think you happened to, we were lucky enough that you happened to be making a trip through Toronto for that event, and Audie and the Google team had set it up really well. We had maybe 100 or a little over 100 people show up. So it was a really good crowd and a super engaged community. Just exciting to see everyone come out in Toronto supporting the startup ecosystem. So it was really, really good. And thanks to you guys for facilitating that.
Yeah, you're welcome. That was so fun. It was at a Google office, and we had a great time. So, are you ready? You ready, man?
Yeah, I'm ready. So
Yeah.
just let me know when you can see the slides and all properly, and then we'll go from there.
Okay, we can see them. Looks like they're full screen. I'm going to take that off, and whenever you're ready.
Awesome. Thank you. Quickly is building first of a kind, massive multiplayer brain championships. We want to celebrate brain athletes like we do physical athletes in the world. To do this, we're creating an esports platform where brain champions can come and compete, shine, and be recognized and win money. The digital entertainment industry has been booming. Esports within that growing at 40% annually. Within that bubble, we play in cognitive esports. This is a new market expected to cross 5 billion in the next 4 years, and we are pioneering in it. Our early traction, we have about 15,000 users signed up, just over 2,000 playing monthly, and our daily user engagement and retention have grown 40% this year, coming close to just under 10 minutes. This is founded by myself and my brother. I have been creating games since I was a kid, from cards, dice, language, you name it. Manu, he's been working in the Bay Area with Google, Uber in operations, and now he leads our operations division. We have a strong technology team with over 50 years of technology background and a strong content team led by a teacher and a principal as our advisor. Our revenue will come through the LiveOps freemium model, where you can pay for content packs, in-app purchases. And as our entertainment module matures, we'll get ads revenue, sponsorships, merchandise revenue, all that good stuff. We're just kicking off our pre-seed round of 300,000. 150K has been invested into this company so far. And if you're interested, please reach out. We can talk more about this. Our vision has been validated at multiple events in the past, and we look forward to what comes next. Thank you, everybody. Please download the game, reach out if you have any questions or any suggestions.
So good. This is so interesting, man. I think it's just even such a creative concept in terms of just the races, the things you're doing, the karate for your mind. What I want to ask as we are bringing in the questions from you, the audience, what I want to ask is, how have you approached growth and marketing to get your initial users? A lot of companies want to know that first, even 10,000 or 50,000 people.
Absolutely.
How have you approached that?
Yeah, so about 60 to 70% have come through paid marketing. We do tests on digital marketing and learn and evolve to bring our COAs down. We also have been building our community through content marketing. So we have about 1,500 Instagram users, about 500 in our Facebook group, and those groups and pages bring us, influx of users as well. And we're also working with some schools and teachers where we're experimenting in like closed brain races. And so as they spread it through word of mouth, we get a bunch of users as well. Lastly, we have invite options and experience in our app itself. So that also drives another 9 to 10% growth rate so far.
Ah, very good, very good. I'm gonna do something really innovative here. I'm gonna combine two, and I'm gonna do what kind of cognitive games do you offer, and then they're gonna be, and then how do they work? Essentially, are they trivia, multiple choice? So we have two questions here combined.
That's a great question. And I just switched the slide so you can get like a bit of a view of the types of, content modules we have. But essentially, we break it into two big pillars, which is knowledge and cognitive skills. We believe that fundamentally, that is what you need, in education and in your life is you need to have good knowledge and good cognitive skills. So all of our content will be fed from those two pillars. In knowledge, you have all sorts of trivia from math, English, science, general knowledge trivia, all that good stuff. Within cognitive skills, again, a lot of mini games and modules that will test your pattern recognition, attention to detail, mental flexibility, all that good stuff. And that's the collection of races. It's always knowledge modules, cognitive skills modules. So hopefully that answers those questions.
Very good. Yeah. And, going on top of that, explain a little bit more the business model. You flipped through it.
Yeah,
You kind of showed a little bit
absolutely.
of your revenue, but yeah, let's talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great question. So we start with the live ops gaming model. I'll give you an example. So when you're going through this race, if you get a question incorrect or you mess up in one of the cognitive modules, you get a penalty, right? And that penalty holds you back in the race while everybody else is moving forward. So once in a race, you'll be able to use a penalty shield, which will be, you buy these penalty shields. It's not that you can win your way to the races. All right, that is not the intent, but you do have some, these in-app purchases that will give you slight edge in the race. In addition to that, we will have paid content modules. So because of all the data we collect, we know, for example, that Nick, you're taking 7 seconds in the math questions, the world is taking 10 seconds, you're 2 standard deviations better. We can curate specific content modules for you, whether you want to do that for personal growth or you want to win at races. That could be your own motivation, but we can do all of that as a paid product. This is our B2C model. Once we have the infrastructure ready, we can easily create a platform for schools and corporations to run their own races, and those will be charged products as well. Lastly, I'll just touch on this. Our focus right now is the two pieces I mentioned, but as our entertainment module matures, we will bring entertainment revenue into this. Merchandise, sponsorships, streaming, if people are interested in watching these kinds of games. And we're doing surveys and finding that people are interested in watching intellectual competitions. So that'll be the final route. But we got to focus on something. So it's not our focus right now, just to be clear, but that's also in the pipe.
So I would say last question here, based on timing, sports benefit, sports have spectators, and kids like to watch other kids playing on YouTube or Twitch or whatnot. Do you invite fans and spectators? What does that future look like?
Yeah, no, this is a great question. Thank you, Heather. So we're doing a couple of things around this. What we're going to do is allow these brain racers to essentially showcase their cognitive identity. So every brain racer will be able to, show their cognitive skills. These are my strengths. And the idea is that other people out there will be able to follow you and, support you by becoming your fan. So what will happen is every time you are racing, they will get notified that, you follow Nick, he's racing, come and watch him. Come and watch how he whoops everybody, in the different modules or whatever, and then you can watch his performance. Or you can take a different view where you can just watch the race happening because you just want to see all the racers in a collective view and then watch them performing. So these are some of the areas how we're going to, bring fans and viewers. In addition to that, Heather, we're also going to have our Twitch stream, which is already active. And we, have started streaming on Twitch, and we'll grow our community more over there as well. And just allow people to come and watch these races and championships when they evolve to that.
Very good. Well, great job. Quickly, karate for your mind. Coming out of Toronto, Canada, we love it, and good stuff.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks, Nick.
Yeah. Okay. Whoo, how we all doing? We got one more pitch, one more founder coming out of Texas, Dallas to be specific. Really excited to bring on Rachel here. And Rachel, let's bring her on and we'll make sure that she's jumping in here. All right, Rachel. Okay, Rachel, can you hear us? And let's get that. There you are. There you are. Rachel, how you doing today?
Good. How are you?
Good. All right. So like I've been talking with other the presenters, tell us when your last Founders Live experience was when, and how, was it in person or was it online?
So I pitched in person in Dallas actually just about a year ago at this time.
Good.
It was in August, I guess, the last weekend in August of 2019 in Dallas, Texas.
Well, perfect. David's doing a great job down there in Dallas. Love it. If you're watching, David, good job. And so here we are. Are we ready to get going here, Rachel?
I think so.
All right. So on your words, you're ready to go. You go ahead.
All right. Well, I am going to take everyone back to May 28th, 2006. It is prom night at Hudsonville High School. My friends are dolled up, looking their best, ready for a night on the town. And I am spending the night waiting tables because I did not have a dress to go to prom. Yes, that evening, my high school dreams were shattered, but a startup dream was born. Fast forward 10 years, I'm living and working in Dallas, Texas. I'm doing the uptown thing, going to parties and charity events. And once again, I found that I had nothing to wear. My friends were using Rent the Runway, but things would show up and they wouldn't fit right or they wouldn't arrive at all, leaving them scrambling the day of to find an outfit. At that time, I saw explosive growth in the sharing economy and so many other verticals. I was using Turo to rent my car, Airbnb to rent rooms in my home, and Rover to walk my dog. And that's when I had my aha moment. Why was there nothing in the peer-to-peer space for fashion rental? Enter Rent My Wardrobe, an on-demand fashion rental for peer-to-peer exchange. Well, platforms like Rent the Runway used a business-to-consumer model. Our platform allowed direct in-person exchanges with women in your community. You can save money on dresses you'll only wear once and make consistent residual income on clothes collecting dust in your closet. Our mission is to empower and equip women and girls to become their own entrepreneur and give every girl a chance to go to prom. Since COVID-19, we have launched a completely virtual styling platform and plan to continue to pivot amidst the pandemic to meet our market needs.
Rachel, great job. Great job. This is awesome. So I've got my first question as we wait for all the other questions to come in. And, it's around, essentially protecting and promising quality and cleanliness of the clothes. So when people receive the clothes from someone else or even your company, which maybe you want to describe that, how is this quality and cleanliness, really upheld in the standard of that?
Yeah, so it's a really, really great question. Much like Airbnb, our guidelines are regulated based on the community. So the same way when you go and you have an experience and stay in someone's home and you rate them on their cleanliness standard, our guidelines are regulated all through the community members. So at this time, we're not stepping in as a disintermediary to offer, any sort of cleaning that's handled by the user. They have settings that they can customize what their preferences are. So some users are going to prefer that something is dropped off at a dry cleaner. Some items like specialty gowns that are really beaded or something that has unique sequins on it might need to be hand wash only. So depending on their settings, they can decide how they want that carried out. Now, given COVID, it brings an entire new dynamic to the equation that we didn't have to deal with, in the cleanliness factor and the germophobia. And so that's something that we're really looking at and monitoring moving forward, how that is going to change and how the market is going to react to that. as the dust settles with COVID and as, people venture out into this new reality, that's one of the things that we're really going to be looking at and seeing how that could or could not impact, the fate of how the market is exchanging right now.
Very good. Got it. So like Rent the Runway, how do you ensure users are able to get the right size? What about sizing? Do they pick the clothes up on their own, or are they mailed it? And how does that all work?
Yeah, that's a really great question. So ladies listening know you can kind of look at another female and see her body type and understand how a garment is going to fit you. We have ratings and reviews and photos on every rental. So the woman, if she's comfortable, can list what her, weight and measurements, sizing is. That's really common. Like anytime, if you go to Nordstrom or any retailer, that's already happening where people are sharing, hey, this is my, weight, this is my size, this is how it fit me. And so that's a lot of times happening, between the community as well. But we do have a try on, and that's one of the great things about our app that some of the other platforms don't have, is you can have the opportunity to try it on and make sure it fits. And one of the challenges, with renting from an app like Rent the Runway is you're getting something mailed to you and you have no idea if it's even going to work or not. By using a hyperlocal platform, you can make sure that it's the perfect fit before you decide to purchase it or to rent it.
Got it. Let's see. Yeah, how do renters of clothes know what to charge? Like, do they set their own price, or is there like a specific one? How does that mechanics work?
Yeah, that's a great question. So our users have full autonomy to set their own pricing. We do have price recommendations, and we have a smart pricing algorithm within the app. If you put in the retailer and the cost of it, we can, through smart technology, give you a recommendation. Typically, it's going to be between 10 and 30% of the retail cost for a 4-day rental. Keeping in mind, obviously, the higher the retail cost, the lower the percentage. So what that might look like, if you have a $5,000 gown, you're not necessarily going to rent it out for $1,000. You might rent it out for $400 or $500. But if you have, a $500 gown, you might be able to rent it for $200, depending on the occasion and depending on the brand and designer. So it's definitely supply and demand. People, are going to pay for the brands that they want and the styles and occasion that they want in the right time.
Yeah, very good. And last question that we have here is, a little bit around the revenue model. Do you take a percentage, or are you charging a flat rate per sale?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we take a percentage out of each transaction. And it's a small cost to the lender side. We do pride ourselves in that we pay the most commission of any other platform. So we really try to give as much possible back to the lender, as our mission is to equip and empower women to become their own entrepreneurs. So our mission is really to lead with that and to teach women how they can become more financially savvy and use the platform as a way to generate income.
Well, very good, Rachel. Congratulations, great pitch, and so glad to have you on.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
All right. Well, everyone, those were 5 amazing pitches from, 5 early stage and high promising growth startups from around North America. And we are now ready, and it's time to vote. So as we go about this, you will see on your screen, you will see a QR code that you scan. You will see also below this video box, there is a link there as well. If you're on your desktop or whatnot, you can just go down there and click it. It's going to pop up. Go ahead and vote. We're going to take a few minutes. We're just going to stay right here. I will talk a little bit about some things that are coming up. Just share a little bit more about the rest of the calendar of Prime Time. So we're all aware of what's going on, but we're going to keep this QR code on the screen, but you have the opportunity to scan it with your phone. You can click it with your computer that you're watching right here. And let's take a few minutes and make sure that we're casting our vote for the company that we thought was the best pitch tonight to go on to the final event on December 2nd. So excited for that. Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? And during the time that we're taking this to vote, I want to just verbally illustrate and talk about, because we're not going to leave this page for a second, but I want to verbally talk about, we have, this Founders Live Primetime is 5 events. This is round 1 of those events. You will find information about the rest of the events on the event page, as well as the information that we push out later. But we have Latin America happening in 2 weeks on the 23rd. We have Europe and Africa happening on the 7th of October. We have the next North America event, so for sure check that out on that is October 21st, and that'll be right here online. And then the last event will be a second Latin America event that'll take place on November 4th. These are celebrations of entrepreneurship. Even if you do not live in those regions, they're a heck of a fun thing to check out. You're going to discover startups and innovative entrepreneurs from corners of the world that you probably can't travel to right now. So why would you not get on here and check them out? And hey, if you're an investor, they might be a company that you want to look into and invest in. If you're a customer, you might want to rent some clothes from a company or do some mind tricks, right? So this is why Founders Live is so important, that it's not just, oh, it's my city, I guess if it's not my city, I shouldn't watch it. That's not what Founders Live is anymore. Founders Live is a global movement around entrepreneurship, highlighting tremendously talented people. So keep your eyes out for those events and for what is coming down the line. So excited for that. We're just checking out the results here, and we have a few more minutes. It's close, so I encourage you, if you haven't voted yet, if you haven't shared this with a friend that's watching, we're going to take a few more minutes. It's close. We do have a leader at this point, but come on, everyone. Who's it going to be? Who's going to move on? This is exciting. This is exciting stuff. These are great pitches. These are great pitches. Great job, presenters. These were very, very tight presentations, very tight pitches. 99 seconds is not easy, but it is effective and it is entertaining. So, so cool about this. It's hard for me to go through these events sometimes because I've I can't, it's hard. It's like, who's your favorite child? Well, it's like, yeah, you like all of them. And I really do love all these pitches tonight. I think they're unique businesses. If you look at from education to, boards of public companies, if not nonprofits and others, you have, experiences for expecting mothers and really around childbirth. You've got education in a very unique way and actually, karate for your mind. And then we have a unique, innovative aspect of retail, the future of retail, let's call it that, because that's what we're dealing with now with the pandemic. So everyone keep looking at that, keep voting. We are looking at that, and here we go. We're going to spend one more minute, and then we will bring up the winner. We will bring up the winner. It's a close one. Everyone, take a little deep breath. A little deep breath here. Okay. Anyone else? The last votes come in. All right. So, are we ready, everyone, for the winner? And he is going to need to turn on his camera. And I hope he knows who he is. And I wanted him to turn on his camera before we bring him up.
Oh.
Jander, well, congratulations. We have a winner, everyone.
Wow, thank you so much to everybody.
Great job, man. And I definitely just I can't emphasize enough how much all these presentations and the founders that worked really hard and everyone, I mean, this is the winners group anyway, right? But man, tell us about tell us about how Karate in the Mind just really, like, how did that hit you and where did this idea come from?
Yeah, sure. Before I jump into that, I do want to just say quickly thank you to everybody and to all the other startups that pitched. Honestly, watching you guys, it was absolutely phenomenal. Win or not, I'm going to be checking out a bunch of those products. And anybody watching, I request and encourage you guys to do the same. Amazing, amazing pitches. Nick, thank you for your questions. So, a little bit back 3 or 4 years ago, we were sitting at a dinner conversation. I come from an education household, and the conversation evolved into, how the education system is when it was designed and kind of the pros and cons of it. And just from that time, I decided I want to put my mental energy towards learning and cognition. And then my history with, my interest towards games and affinity towards game design brought the two worlds together, where we were like, let's create a gamified education system where we can inspire people to learn and take on a mindset of cognitive development. So this is a little bit of like, the history behind it. And then it was all about research. Where do we really want to play? There are so many great places, to play in the education space. And the reason we decided to go towards brain athletes and celebrating this as a culture is because we believe that iconic superstars in all sports, they raise those sports and inspire millions of people to follow them. Michael Jordan did it for basketball, Serena Williams for female tennis, Michael Schumacher for Formula One. The list is endless, but we don't have that level of recognizable caliber yet in the mind sports umbrella. So when we saw that gap, everything just clicked. Like, this is what we want to do. There's this amazing gap which allows us to do that. Now we just got to go deliver on it.
Yeah, very good. Tell us a little bit where this goes. Like, let's go out 3 to 5 years. What are you imagining as the evolution of Quickly?
Yeah, that's a great question. In 3 to 5 years, I would say if we can have amazing big global championships where, brain athletes from all over the world, they come and they participate, not just individually, but even in teams. You can have like relays where bring your math expert with the general knowledge expert with the pattern recognition guy, and you make a team. And we have massive competitions, rent out Arthur Ashe, just like Fortnite did, and, hold big cognitive esports competitions. And we believe and we hope that parents can get behind this, the community can get behind this, because the more we celebrate and glorify this type of activity, the more people will want to follow it, genuinely be inspired to follow it. So in 3 to 5 years, if we can have that going, that would be amazing.
That's so cool, man. So what's next for the company? What do you see over the next, few months? We're going into, fall school season, holiday season, probably some big activity. What's next, and what would be one thing that you would ask from the audience?
Again, great questions. So immediately what's next is we just launched our multiplayer module 2 months ago, and we've been getting great feedback, great response, and we're in the process of polishing up the experience. And in the next month or two, we'll pretty much do like our official launch. That's going to come up very soon. And part of this is going to be a lot of, private events as well. So we're working with some schools and communities that are associated with schools, so that they can create their own, private brain races and mini tournaments and championships in the districts that they want to. So that's the immediate short-term goals, a lot of product evolution and really getting the experience to a level where, we're like, this is awesome. And as far as what we're looking for, we're growing, guys. So for anybody, listening out there, we're growing on our marketing side, we're growing on our development side. If you know anyone from the esports or education space, we're looking for key advisors. We already have a couple, but we're looking to grow the syndicate of minds that can really help us make this into a reality. Esports blends with education, blends with gaming, right? So any advisors from that space, any investors that would be interested in supporting a concept like ours, we're looking for that. Please make some intros or reach out. That would be amazing.
Well, great, and congratulations. We will have you a part of December 2nd. Mark your calendars. Everyone, mark your calendars. That will be a very fun, big event. We're going to close out the year in that. Again, hey, as people are saying here, all the presenters did a great job, and we just want to thank everyone. So, congratulations, man. More to come from Founders Live, and we'll see you in the networking. People are going to want to chat with you. Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good one.
Woo! How about that? This has been such an amazing experience. A couple things before we end here in terms of the show. Please, if you can, stick around. Although that we're not in person, we want to connect and network. And there's a few things I want to highlight here. So number one, if you want to connect with others, in the chat there, you're gonna have to copy paste it probably, this link, and just copy paste it. If you fill it out, you will get contact information from everyone else that filled it out, and you can connect with them how they want to. So we love that. And I'm going to bring my screen back in here. There we are. We got to let's remove that comment there so we can review these slides real quick, and then we'll jump into networking. So this is Founders Live Primetime. Thank you all so much. The next event, Latin America, is Wednesday the 23rd. It is going to be in Spanish. That is a big deal that I should have said as well. But, the Latin America event will definitely be in Spanish. We have cities that are in Colombia and Argentina, Mexico, Ecuador. And so that is going to be a Spanish event. So if you can and you understand Spanish, then that's great. If you're like me and you struggle with it, take it for what it's worth. But the Europe and Africa event will actually be in English, and then the next North America event will be in English. So we're just excited to hold these events. So take a look at that. We want to thank everyone. I want to thank everyone who is a part of this, our back team. We have now a producer. Marissa, thank you so much. I know you're back there, and really great work there. You've helped us a lot. We are improving this process, and so we want to thank everyone, and especially Milk Toast and Company. Thank you for the concert and your music. Everyone, take a look. Click down their website. You can find more information in their music there. Again, every Founders Live is now your Founders Live. It's not necessarily about the borders of the city or the country. It's more about celebration of entrepreneurship. So check those out, share those with people. They're free to attend, and then join founderslive.com. As I talked about before, we have our membership now. Definitely get in there. Yes, we are a business. Yes, there is a pricing model now. Nothing great in life is free. So here we go. So please jump in there. Excited to grow the next evolution of Founders Live. Networking is the link is down there in the below the video box there. Join us. Check that out. Click that link right there. I will post it into the chat as well. But we are going to get into the networking, and this is where you can turn on your camera and you can chat with people, grab a drink of your choice, and definitely hang out. I want to talk to you. I'm going to be here for a while, so would love to see y'all. We're going to have some of the presenters in there as well, and would love to just have a little more casual interaction there. So thank you all. This has been amazing, and just the beginning of Founders Live. So for that, everyone, I'm Nick Hughes, CEO and founder of Founders Live. And for that, this is Founders Live Primetime. Thank you all so much. Don't make it your last.